you this morning when you heard the news about Scott Bloomquist? What went through your mind?
I was shocked like everybody else. Heard about it early this morning, and a lot of people started calling me about it, and it's tragic. I mean, we've definitely lost somebody that's very valuable for this sport. That had a lot to do with where we are today with the sport. Honestly.
If you could put this into maybe one of the major sports, football, baseball, basketball, what is this loss comparable to somebody in those sports?
Well, I can kind of control it more the racing world, more the Dale Earnhardt, honestly. I mean, he was a legend. He was. They always called him the GOAT, greatest of all times, and he proved to be the GOAT, and it had a motorcycle wreck a couple of years ago down in Daytona, and really never got completely healed of the motorcycle wreck. He's been out and made a few attempts to drive, and had planned on being at the World 100 this year in September when we go there. But unfortunately, we won't get to see him again.
What's it like to have someone, a GOAT, be able to race right here at the dirt track that you own?
Well, I tell you what he done. There's a few of them around this area for sure. We're fortunate enough to have some really grassroots racers that came up and made it big time around here. Jimmy Owens is another one. And when Jimmy comes, or you've got Mike Marlar or some of these guys that come. Scott was one of those. You could count on the extra 200 or 300 people in the stands that would come just to see those people race. So it was big for my facility for sure.
How awesome is that to know that when that name, and I sort of asked Casey the same question, but when you know that name's going to be here, you can expect one heck of a turnout in those stands.
Oh, it is awesome. I mean, no doubt about it. Because everybody, regardless if they're affiliated with dirt track racing or not affiliated with racing at all, they knew the name Scott Bloomquist. I heard people call me this morning and said, "Hey, I know you knew Scott. Did you hear he passed away this morning?" So he was a household name, really was.
What was it like to know the guy, Scott?
He was complicated. Yeah, I'll just put it that way. He was a tough person to get to know. But I had a lot of friends. I knew him. I've got a shop up in Morristown, which is not too far from his shop up there. And I know a lot of people have been affiliated with Scott over the years and all that. And he was his own person. He marched by the beat of his own drum. Scott done what Scott wanted to do.
Went out doing something that he loved too. He loved the dirt track race, but also fly his vintage planes. And how does that kind of just speak to the dude who went by the beat of his own drum?
Oh, it definitely does. His dad, I was in the RV business several years ago, and his mom and dad had bought RVs from me. And so I got to know Scott a lot through that way, and helping him with his transporter and stuff like that over the years. But his dad was a collector of planes, got a lot of vintage planes, got a museum up here at his farm, really. And Scott was always big into the planes, had his own plane, and done a lot of flying over the years.
Roger, anything else we left out you feel like you need to add?
The only thing I guess is that he will be missed. Definitely. Whatever track around. When Scott Bloomquist came, I mean, he was definitely the talk of the show, be it good, bad, or ugly. I mean, Scott was always involved with it. And he was a legend, and he will be missed. Yeah.